Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, deaf guys, wherever you at. I don't know where you live. I got another tutorial, man. This one is a doozy. I've been spending the past, I want to say, 24 hours trying to figure this out and just learn more and more about the control rig. I really want to include the control rig inside of my workflow because I want to make instant animations inside the editor, test them, put them in gameplay, see how they work. If they don't work, fix them. I don't want to have to jump into Blender or Maya or Houdini, which is what I use, to touch up animations and do stuff like. I don't want to have to jump back and forth just to prototype. I want to do it real quick. That's why I'm trying to learn Control Rig, and I just figured out something that really had me bothered for a long time. So I'm gonna share it with you guys. We're just gonna get right into it. This is the progress I've made, and what I'm gonna do today, starting today, is like a part series showing you how to get from point A to point B with first-person animation. Because I'm making a first-person shooter. I know you probably are too if you're looking up this video, and I want to make animations real quick in the editor. So I made a little idle animation using control rig. You can say this is my little simple rig, and we're gonna build this rig today, and we're gonna expand upon it as I get more knowledge. I already know how to do a finger, like a finger controller. Um, it's a few things I already know how to do. Right here, it's got an IK right here, but it also has a follow with it follows the gun here, which is also very important in first person shooters. So we're gonna get that set up today, and I'm not gonna show you how to get your project set up. I'm gonna kind of breeze through that stuff, but my main goal is to show you how to go from first person arms, no control rig on it, to this today. It might take me, well, we 2 minutes in right now, and this is raw, by the way. I'm not. I practiced it, but I don't have any notes. I'm just doing this, so it's gonna probably take me like 25 minutes. So bear with me, and if you want to learn this stuff, I'll try to be clear as I can. But I'm still learning myself. So the first thing you want to do is definitely make sure you have control rig turned on. I'm using the control rig project, so it already came with the plugin turned on. But if you don't, you just go to plugins, type in control, and enable this. It'll ask you to restart your project, and then you can meet me here. The next thing you want to do is file, new level. You want to create a new level. I'm gonna keep this test level separate from this tutorial level that I just made before I started this. But yeah, create a new level. You want to set your UI up something comfortable. I have will be my first person camera over here. This will be my viewport to edit and move the controls. And you can set yours up however you want, but that's how I have mine set up. The next thing you want to do is hit this button, add/import. You want to add a feature or content pack, and you want to import first person shooter content pack, the blueprint one. Don't do C++. Add that to your project so that you can get these two folders right here. And once you get those folders in, it shouldn't take that long. You want to go to character. You want to go to the mesh. See, I already have a couple of control rigs. And you want to right click on the first person arms and hit create control rig. You can rename this to whatever you want. I'm gonna just keep it basic. Go ahead, save it right off the bat. Open that up, and this is control rig. It lets you see the bone hierarchy. This is not actual bones that you're manipulating. Get the execution stack, shows you how everything flows from this point on. And that's pretty much all I know about this window. You can also open up the my blueprint window, dock that right here, because you can create variables that you can set inside of like animation blueprint or inside of a blueprint. we're not going to be doing that in this series. We're just going to stick to the simple stuff. We're going to stick to our guns, baby, what we know. So yeah, I'm going to just breeze right through this stuff. The first thing you want to do inside a control rig is start by creating the space. You want to create a space for both the left and right hands. I hate that bug, but it takes it all the way to the bottom of the hierarchy. Call this hand space L. Close that up and find the right hand and do the same thing. Create a new space. Call this hand space R. Now, you want to take both of these spaces and move them from being parented to the actual hand that they're in the space of. We're just creating these spaces as a reference point for the controls so that they can be close to the actual bone that they're going to be manipulating. So you can go in here, you can create a control. You can right click, create a control, and it'll just do the same thing. It'll create a space and it'll create a control and parented in the space. But the thing is, when you got the space parented to the bone, that means whenever the bone moves, the space will move. And if the space moves, all of the data, like location and rotation, will also change. And that will mess up IKs and just rotations. It'll mess everything up because it'll always be reparenting to a space that's forever moving instead of parenting to the space one time and moving according to the bone hierarchy that it's controlling. I hope that was clear. I understood it in my head. So next thing you want to do is close down that and just click in the open space. You can right click and hit new bone. Oh, I'm sorry. You can right click and hit new control, or you can just press control N, which is a lot faster. And we're just going to call this our root control. And this is just the control that's going to be used to move everything. I'll do all the pretty and do all the gizmos after I set it all up. So, because that's pretty much, that's not like a tutorial thing. That's just however you want it to look. We'll create another one. And this is just going to be the offset control. And parented to that, you're going to need a pole vector. I'll let you know why in a little bit for the left. And you're going to need a pole vector for the right. And if you don't know what I did there, I just pressed Control W and it duplicated that pole vector. Delete that one. So going to the hand space under there, you want to press Control N and add a new control inside that space. And you can see what I was talking about. It puts the space in the bone control, like the hand bone's control space, which makes it easier for us to set up. So here we got the hand IKL. Do another one here inside the right space. The hand IKR. And we're actually going to call this one the parent, right? And I'm doing this for future, like, so I can be able to use, okay, this is a prime example. So say I just created this right here as a child, and this is just the IKL. So if you've seen in the beginning of this video where I had the left hand following the right hand, if I had the left IK, which is controlling the actual bone hierarchy, following the right IK, it wouldn't allow me to still manipulate the left IK. So therefore we have to create a parent that's just a blank. It's just a blank. It's just like an empty null, and we parent the IK that we actually want to move and manipulate separate from that, because this will control this, but this can still be separate to control the bones that it will be controlling. So that's why we do it like that. So create another here, parent it to that, and then for the right hand, you want to actually add a child that's called the right. We could just call it the IK offset right R. Okay, we'll actually do that for this as well, because I'm thinking in the future when I have a magazine, a gun with a detachable magazine, I'd want to parent the magazine to this control, which may not work, but I'm just trying to future-proof myself. And we'll call this the IK offset L. All right, so pretty much got everything that we need set up. I'm gonna go through here and make it look pretty. So I like to do hexagon thick, make these 2 by 2. Keep the base one red. The offset, we do a box thick, keep it at 1. Oh, I'm sorry, not a box, a square thick. I like to turn it green. And pole vector L, usually you can keep that as a gizmo. Usually the left side is blue and the right side is red to like kind of differentiate the two. So the right side's already red. And what we're gonna do for these is go into the bone hierarchy and look for the lower arm L, copy, and go to here and paste global transform. All right. So now that's kind of lined up with the elbow, which is what it's going to be controlling. Go ahead here and zero out the rotations, and then you want to move this back. I'll say -60. Just call it -60. Why did you do that? Okay, let's compile, put it back. All right, let's just move it by hand since it's wanting to be stupid. Then you want to go ahead and right click on it and set initial transform from current. That'll zero out all of these so that, you know, in animation you want to work with zeros. You want to be adding 60 degrees to an already 60-degree turn object. So we want to do the same thing with here. I'm gonna just go ahead and get the lower arm right, copy that, and paste the global transform, zero out the rotations, and move this back somewhat similar to the other one. I think it was like 59, do 60. Right click and set initial transform from current. So now we got our pole vectors. Now we need to set up our actual IK. We can turn these off. For the parents, you don't really need to see those. They're just going to get in the way. But the IKs, I usually like to grab a circle thick. Rotate it 90 degrees on the Y so that it kind of wraps around the arm. Then you can do 0.25 on the axis. For the offset, we can make it a box. Box thick is cool. just go ahead and make it like 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. And I actually might keep that gizmo. Just move the size down. Let's see. Let's say 0.7, 0.7. Will I be able to grab that? It's all about grabbing it. Yeah, I can grab that. We can kind of make it bigger though. Let's just keep it at 1 because that's a pretty decent size. And on to the right, go ahead and make that a circle thick. 0.25 on the axis. Whoops, my face is in the way of this. So I'm gonna move my face over just to show you where I am. But it's the gizmo section here. It's the gizmo section here. My face was in the way the whole time. People like, get the out the way. But yeah, it's this section right here inside the details panel. All right, I'm gonna move myself back over. Like I said, the gizmo setup is really just what you want. Like, it's not anything in particular that I have to like teach. I also want to change this color to blue. And change this offset to blue. Just so consistency, you know. Nothing worse than having when this is over here and you know what I'm saying? Like that'll mess that all up. Okay, so I'm already close to 20 minutes, so we're just gonna get right into how to get this all set up. All right, so what we want is a basic IK. That's what we want to do. Now, this node is very like straightforward. You pick which bone you want to start at, you pick which bone you want to end at, and you pick the bone that's going to manipulate the rest of the bones. So here, lower arm, we'll just start with the left arm. Actually, we're stupid. We start at the upper arm. We move down to the lower arm. And then we want the hand to kind of move all of that. You see it gets all wonky. Go ahead, propagate the children. And you can see that it's still acting weird, right? And that's what we made these pole vectors for. So you drag that in, you get the control, and then you drag the transform in. Oh, I'm sorry. That's for later. So we need the effector transform, which is the actual controls, like the IK control transform. So you get that control, and you drag that in there. You see, we still got like this weird kind of Yankee elbow, looks like it hurts. And that, my friend, is what the pole vector control is for. So you get that, and you just drag in the vector for that. And it kind of fixes it, but it doesn't. And only reason I found this out is just digging into the actual other control rig. You actually have to go into this secondary axis and invert it. And boom. Now, if we go here, we have IK for that hand. And it's easy as doing this and just changing up the enum to the right side. I like how it keeps the places of these in there. Go IKR. Oh, sorry. Pole vector R. This is actually, yeah, that's right. Compile, and you can see it's looking stupid. But that's because this needs to be 1.0, and the primary axis needs to be -1. And now you can see our IK is very much functional. I actually want to change this orientation of the bone. So we're going to set this initial transform from the closest bone. We'll do that for this one too. And I think it didn't do anything. So let's go into the parent and set, why is the parent zeroed out? Okay, so what we can do here is copy this. We can paste the global transform of this here. And then we could, why is this down here? That's so weird. No, it's in the right place. Okay. I don't know when you have the gizmo turned off why it goes default there. That's weird. Okay, so I'm sorry. Right click and set this initial transform to the bone that is closest to. Do that for this one too, and I think it will change the rotation of this. Let's see. No, the rotations are still the same. But either way, the IK works pretty good. Now to set up really what took me the longest amount of time. So let me just get the nodes set up and I'll explain them as I go. Project a new parent. We want to get the transform twice, and you want to set the transform. And let me just put a sequence right here. Okay. So with control rig, there's not really a easy way to set a control as a child or set a bone as a child of something. You have to kind of do it like this. This is a hack that I found. It's still not perfect. When I was researching ways to do this in other programs like Blender or Maya, you simply just click the bone and add a constraint, make it a child of, pick whatever bone you want it to be a child of, and boom, you got it. Like, it's that simple. But you also have to jump in and out of programs. So I'd rather figure out how to do this the hard way than to do that the easy way and end up doing some hard shit in the end anyways. So what's going to happen here is we're going to get this transform and plug it into here. First, we want to get the child bone, which is going to be our parent control. And the reason it's the parent control is because we want to move the parent and not the actual IK control that we're going to be using. The old parent is going to be the space that this control is in, and I'll go back and double check this because I might be wrong. And the new parent is going to be the offset for the right hand. So if we set the transform of our parent, you see it locks in to wherever this offset is. And since the offset moves with the right hand, we kind of got like a follow constraint right there. So you also want to set this to initial and local space. No, it's just initial. But one thing we want to do is we only want to give this the rotation, the translation of the new parent. We don't want to give it the rotation. We actually want to get the rotation from our IK. So we want to let the rotation of the IK be the rotation of this IK. We don't want to have the rotation coming in from here. So we just take this rotation, drag it into here. Like I said, I'm gonna double check this to make sure it's right. And initial. And I think I did something wrong, so let me go check. And this is, like I said, this is something I literally just figured out today, and now I'm bringing it to you guys. Okay, so we got the initial space of the hand space. That's the rotation. We got the initial rotation of the hand, and we set the transform of the IKL parent. That's right. And this was right too. But we didn't feed in the rotation. Okay. So we got the initial of the space. This might crash. Okay, it didn't crash. Got the initial of the space, and we passed in, yeah, the rotation. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's double check. So we pass in this rotation, we pass in the scale and the translation through here. And then we set the global space. And oh, we also created a, okay. So delete this. This is global space. Then we set a weight right here. So what I did for that was come to this root control and create a new control, parent it to it, and just call it settings. This is just going to be the control that like holds all of our settings. It's not going to be anything that we manipulate. We're going to make a control here that's called the follow right follow IK R, and change this to a float because we want it to be a weight value that we can put in there. And then you just drag that into the viewport and plug in this float value to here. Did we propagate this to children? I don't think so. So yeah, let's just go back and double check the initial one. Yeah, we didn't propagate it to children. And I forgot to set this to distance. And I didn't propagate it to children probably. Oh, it's already set the direction, okay. And I think we're pretty much golden. So save that. I want to go ahead and we can drag this one. Which one is it? Why they name these the same thing? Oh, control rig 2. Okay. Drag this into the viewport. Right there. Automatically sets us up to get started. Go to your first person weapon, grab the gun, drag that inside of there, and go to your world outliner. You want to drag that gun on top of your mesh, and we're just going to attach it to this grip point socket, reset all of its transforms, and you can go in here and manipulate it, get it all perfect and whatnot. I'm gonna get it lined up the way I think it should be lined up. object. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. So, probably do a little like that. Okay, that looks gravy. Let's go ahead, save. Save, because control rig crashes, bro. We also want to place a camera here. Take that camera, attach it to the mannequin, and just attach it to the root. Go ahead and reset the location. Set the Z rotation to 90, and then set this to 150. Might want to bring this back maybe -10. And we can go ahead and make that the default view. So let's just set up that idle animation that I showed at the beginning. One thing you want to do is hit the control rig, go to the animation tab, and say only select rig controls so that we don't move the camera. Okay, so here, Control Z that, Control Z. Go to world for the IK. It's just way better for world coordinates. Get the gun, set her up, pretty nice. Get a nice pose for it right here. That looks good. Okay, and now what we want to do is move the offset, and I'm gonna put the offset where I want the hand to kind of rest at all times, right? So click this, go into the sequencer, press S to add a key. Add a key, click that, add a key for that. And then here, you go drop down your root control. Actually, you don't have to. Drop down your settings and get that follow IKR. And I'm going to turn this animatable off. Let's see. Animatable? No. So I don't have to deal with all that shit inside of the... Yeah. So I don't have to deal with all that shit inside of there. And we're going to set this to 1 to right off the bat. See, it gives me a good start for where the arm needs to go. Now we can go in and tweak this to our liking. Whoops. I say ooh. Okay, I probably gotta move my camera back just a little bit there you go. Next, we'll probably come back and do some finger controls. That way, I can fine tune the placement of the hand. A few other things like controllers to make fists, and just try to fine tune the rig as much as I can. Fix things that I feel need to be fixed that could be made better from this. But all in all, man, that's pretty much how you get it up, man. That's it right there. Got a idle animation going. Let me going. Yeah, looking good. Yep, that's pretty much it. This one was long, man, almost 40 minutes. So I'm gonna get on out of here, get out your hair.